All right, so UFC Atlanta was this weekend, and I am gonna matchmake everybody on the entire card. It was a pretty shit card. I didn't really do a recap on it because I was out at a wedding the whole time, and by the time I had seen all the fights and rewatched them back, all the other YouTubers had their videos up, and it was just a pretty lackluster card. Like it really was. It was one of those that was very, very good on paper, but it just didn't deliver. It really didn't. And the main event was decent, right? It was okay, but it was one of those classic Usman performances. And speaking of Kamaru Usman, got a good win over Joaquin Buckley. I thought it was 48-47. I did think Buckley ended up winning the fourth and the fifth. Just like being unbiased looking at it, Usman wasn't doing damage at all in the fourth with the ground and pound at all. And Buckley did beat him up on the feet for the first 3 minutes. Like Usman had no success on the feet. Buckley had a lot of success on the feet in the first 3 minutes. Then he got taken down, held there, and Usman didn't really land much ground and pound. Nothing of value that I thought would have swung the round to him. But Usman won. He wants a title fight. He said, listen, I'm happy to wait until 2026. The winner of Islam versus Jack. Yeah, buddy, you're not waiting until 2026 to fight the winner of JDM versus Islam Makhachev. You have just been out for like 20 months, came back, beat number 7 ranked Buckley, who was a surging contender, big win streak going. But you're not just jumping a Sean Brady who's been active and winning. You're not just jumping the line over these other guys. You're not. You need to get another win. You don't get to be 1-3 in the in your last 4 fights and then fight for a title next after taking 20 months off. You don't get that. I get your Kamaru Usman. But, buddy, there's a fight that we all want to see. And if you win this fight, then we can talk about title shot. Belal Muhammad. These guys have beef. They don't like each other. It's a fun stylistic matchup. Two guys that are predominantly grapplers, but do enjoy using their hands when they're on the feet. I think this would be a fight that would predominantly take place on the feet, and it just feels like it'd be a sneaky banger. It'd be one of those that Bilal's pressing forward a lot. Like, they're both going to press forward. Usman's going to be using his jabs and kind of like winging hooks in the pocket while he's not looking. And Bilal's going to put Canelo hands on him. I'm curious to see if either of them can actually implement their grappling game or what the grappling defense looks like on either side. But this is a fight that we need, dude. Like, it's an entertaining matchup, and there's beef. They genuinely don't like each other, and it makes total sense. Belal just lost his belt to Jack Della Maddalena. Usman just won against Joaquin Buckley. It makes all the sense in the world. They don't like each other. They did a podcast that we're not going to see. And unless this fight happens, we're never seeing any part of that podcast. If this fight's happen, there will be bits and pieces released for the hype, and it'll be shit talk. Like, it's a good addition to a pay-per-view. This is a really good fight to add to a pay-per-view. So I say Kamaru Usman, Belal Muhammad. Listen, dude, Usman needs to be more fucking active. I get that he's 38, but he just took 20 months off. You don't get to wait, bro. We're not waiting for you to fight again in a year. Because JDM and Islam will fight in probably October, right? Maybe November. And then what'll happen is Usman will be like, all right, I get the winner of that in April or May of next year. That puts us at literally 11 months in between fights again. I'm not doing that, bro. We're not doing that. We're not doing that kind of waiting game. I say Kamaru Usman versus Belal Muhammad makes all the sense. Do this on the Abu Dhabi fight card, bro. If you could make this the feature fight of Abu Dhabi, Belal Muhammad versus Kamaru Usman, sick. Or like the UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi, the end of October pay-per-view. I think it's a great time. It gives Usman 4.5 months. It gave Belal 5.5 months. It's a good one. Moving on, Joaquin Buckley. This is an interesting one. I do think Buckley's got to go back to the drawing board a little bit here because it was one of his more lackluster performances. And I get Usman's a very big step up in competition, but the takedown defense was like non-existent until round 5. He figures it out in round 5, but like the first 4 rounds, he got every time Usman wanted to shoot, he was getting the takedowns. Round 1 was a really well-timed takedown. He could not get up. He was very much struggling to get up. Usman had great control. But round 2, he kind of got like tripped and taken down. Like, it wasn't a great takedown. It was at the end of a shot from Usman, and he kind of just, Buckley did not fight to stay up at all. And same with rounds 3 and 4. Like, Usman was able to get the takedown, and Buckley had no defense. Round 5, he had the takedown defense of prime Jose Aldo, but I don't know. He needs to go back to the drawing board. Needs to learn how to get up when he is on his back, too. So I'm going to say Buckley, Takes some time off, goes to the drawing board, gets better. There were a couple different things I looked at here. I looked at a Michael Morales matchup and saying, listen, dude, these contenders are going to have to fight each other at some point, and we have to find out who the best is. But I really do think they're going to do Leon Edwards versus Michael Morales at some point. Get Morales up in the top five. And I like that as well. I expect Ian Gary was a potential matchup here, but there's no way Ian Gary's taking a fight with Buckley now that he lost to Usman. There's just no way. He'll say, no way, I want my Brady fight. And they'll probably do a Brady versus Ian Gary fight. And that kind of leaves like Shavkat up top. No way Buckley's going to be able to fight up, especially after that loss. So you're kind of in a spot where you're sitting, you're waiting. Like Morales was the next name that I had thought of. But again, I just think they're going to do the Edwards matchup. So these contenders are going to need to fight each other at some point to see who's going to be the best, but I'd rather it be like a if you win, you get the title shot, because a fight between Buckley and Morales, whoever wins that fight, they're not immediately jumping into a title shot. So I'd rather it be like a Buckley Gary, the contenders that fight each other, because one more win, that's the guy that deserves the title fight. So I'm going to say Buckley versus Kevin Holland. Now, hear me out. I think that Buckley should wait until December to fight next. I think that they should do Holland versus Covington. I really do. Holland versus Covington, Holland versus Pratis, Holland versus one of these guys in the, 9 to 15 range. Let him fight in September because that's what he wants to do. He wants to fight a lot this year. Book that fight for honestly, August. If you can do it in August, do August. And then if Holland wins, it makes perfect sense to set up. I think Holland will beat a Covington. He might beat a Burns too at this point. I think Holland's very good at 170. Maybe not Pratis because he might lose to Pratis, but I say Buckley versus Holland. If Holland can get one more win, this is the fight to make. It's a good rematch. They're going to talk shit in the build-up. Kevin Holland, the lower-ranked guy, has the win, and they're going to talk their smack, dude. It's a good addition to a pay-per-view. It's a good fight night main event in front of a crowd. It's going to be something that has name value. And we get to see Buckley go back to the drawing board and say, all right, I'm going to make these improvements. I'm going to come out and be better. Show him that he can take back one of the losses that he has on his career. Let him come back. Try and get that win. And then you can say, okay, he's back in the right win column. He's a top contender. He just lost to a good version of Usman here. Usman put on a good performance. Let's get him back up in the names with these rankings. Have him fight. That's when you have him, if he beats a Holland, that's when you have him beat fight a Shavkat, whoever's, next in line for a title or something. Like an Ian, you'd get the Buck versus Cuck matchup you want. Things like that. So I say Buckley versus Holland. December, pay-per-view, feature fight. It's a great addition to a pay-per-view. Rose Namajunas, once again, could not be bothered to entertain. She has literally been able to put insomniacs to sleep. Alexa Grasso, UFC Noche. They're probably just going to make it a fucking co-main event to Yair versus Diego Lopez, which would be a sick main event, but you know how they got to do it. They're like, dude, we need to see Rose for 5 minutes put everyone to sleep. We have to see it. I mean, seriously, have you seen her haircut, guys? She's just built different. I fucking hate the Rose shit, dude. I hate the Rose glaze so much. Grasso's coming off a loss. Rose is coming off a win. I think the matchup makes sense. Do it at Noche. I don't really fucking care. I'm not giving Rose that much more attention. She fucking sucks. Edmund Shabazian. Good win. A little boring, but he showed that he was able to go the 3 rounds, man, and he was able to defend some of the takedowns. It was impressive. He showed me some improvements, and even though he didn't get the knockout, he still deserves that jump in competition. I say someone just outside the rankings like Michel Pereira. Michel Pereira just dropped out of the rankings, coming off 2 losses in a row, right, to Anthony Hernandez, and after that, Abus Magomedov. Very unimpressive performances. Very, very unimpressive performances. He's got to listen. He's got to defend his spot against one of these guys that are up and coming. Edmund Shabazian now has a 2-fight win streak. Win over Petrosky. And also has a win over... it was Dylan Budka before that. But listen, he's putting together some wins here now. So I say the Michel Pereira matchup makes sense. Michel Pereira, let's see. This is honestly a sick fight. It really is. 2 guys that are first-round finishers normally, primarily strikers, have really, really good power in striking. So I think it would be a good matchup. Edmund Shabazian versus Michel Pereira. Do this on a fight night, main card, somewhere in front of a crowd. It'll spur up some drum. There'll be a little bit of drum. You know what I mean? Hani Barcelos gets another win. Beats Cody Garbrandt. think Ricky Simone, another guy on this card that had a good win. Both guys that have beaten, they're kind of just outside the rankings here. Top 25 guys at bantamweight at this point with the wins that they've racked up. Barcelos beating Garbrandt and Talbot. Ricky Simone finishing Javid Basharat and beating Cameron Smotherman. These are good wins. Simone's still very good, and I think Ronnie Barcelos versus Simone makes sense because they haven't fought each other yet. They're both kind of unks of the sport, and they're both coming off wins on the same card, so timeline works out. And I say you look to book this fight sometime around early October on a fight night. Makes sense for me. Moving on. Cody Garbrandt. You just kind of wonder, was Cody Garbrandt ever that good, or did he just fight a shit version of Dom Cruz? Did he just knock out a Sun Tzu? Because a Sun Tzu was never really all that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... Garbrandt's athletic, he's fast, he's powerful, but technique's not there. I say you need to build hype off of him. Give him to Peyton Talbot. See if Peyton Talbot... So Peyton Talbot's going to be fighting Felipe Lima in 2 weeks at UFC International Fight Week, which is a fight that I will be at. I think Talbot's going to lose that fight, and I think he's going to get smoked in that fight in the grappling. So what they're going to look to do is bring in another guy who's a striker that Peyton Talbot can kind of rebuild his name off of, right? If you have Peyton Talbot fight Cody Garbrandt and he finds a way to chin Cody Garbrandt, he's got some fans back. He's back in the conversation of, all right, dude, like, Peyton Talbot's so back, dude. What a finish. Like, he can... This will be a fight that you put on the main card of a fight night. You put it on the prelims of a pay-per-view, and people will be like, all right, dude, this is one that adds some value to the card. You have some hype in Peyton Talbot, even though he's coming off a couple losses, I believe, in a row. I believe it will be a couple losses in a row. And you have Cody Garbrandt, and you'll always have the memes of Cody Garbrandt. Remember that one time he 48-47 Dom Cruz? Yeah, so I think it's a good fight. Cody Garbrandt's getting paid so much money. We just saw he makes like $250,000 a show. And he doesn't put on good performances anymore. Like, he doesn't. So what are you going to do? You're going to just build, you're going to bring the prospects you want to fight and build them up off of that. I was going to say match Malcolm Wellmaker up with him, but I think Wellmaker wants to make a quicker turnaround than that. So I say you do Garbrandt Talbot. If they do the paper, like the early October, honestly, Garbrandt Talbot prelims MSG pay-per-view. Done. Prelims MSG pay-per-view, you have Peyton Talbot, Cody Garbrandt. Easy work. That's easy matchmaking, make it happen. Malcolm Wellmaker, this guy is a monster. He's going to be a superstar, dude. I'm telling you right now. He's the real Peyton Talbot. He's the guy that everyone thought Peyton Talbot was. Real knockout power. Real, like, actual, like, entertaining dude to watch at every moment. Also, dude, he's not hateable. Like, he ain't zesty as fuck like that. You know what I mean? Like, he's enjoyable to watch. And he's got a fucking cool-ass Southern personality. He's got the fans behind him. This guy's going out there and slumping people within 4 weeks of each other. I say you do Malcolm Wellmaker, turn him around, UFC Noche, main card opener of UFC Noche, Adrian Yanez, Malcolm Wellmaker, make it fucking happen. Let's see how he does against a really good striker in Adrian Yanez, especially really good boxer. It's also on a big card like Noche, where his name's going to be able to be built against a guy from Texas, a Mexican-ish guy from Texas. I think it makes so much sense, dude. Malcolm Wellmaker, Adrian Yanez. This is one of those fights that you put on a card and you go, dude, this is, I can't wait to see this one. Like, I'm tuning into this card because of this fight right here. So, main card opener of UFC Noche, Malcolm Wellmaker, Adrian Yanez. This is the easiest matchmaking the UFC could possibly make. Mansour Abdul Malik got a win over Cody Brundage. Kind of. Say Zachary Reese, both guys having underwhelming performances of recently that were supposed to be pretty talented. I mean, I know that in the first minute of the third round, Brundage and Abdul Malik kind of went off on each other, just started teeing off. But overall, the first 2 rounds kind of sucked to watch. So I say Abdul Malik versus Zachary Reese coming off a, not super cool decision win. Just makes sense. I say book it. Alonzo Menefield, gatekeeps light heavyweight once again. Bogdan Guskov versus Nikita Krylov is happening on July 26th in Abu Dhabi on the Fight Night card. I think Guskov's going to lose to Krylov, man. I know that Krylov's like older and he just got chinned by Reyes real bad, but I just think Guskov's got the worst fucking head movement and head defense I've ever seen. And I think Krylov's going to find him and chin him. So I'm going to say Krylov's going to win that one, and that's going to set us up for Guskov versus Alonzo Menefield on the December final fight night of the year in December. Alonzo Menefield's been pretty active. He's fought twice this year. He can kind of wait for this one to see how it goes a little bit. So I say Menefield versus Guskov, final fight night of the year. Michael Chiesa once again got a cakewalk of a matchup. I say put him with Phil Rowe, another guy that got a good win on this card. It's a little bit more dangerous for him, a little bit more exciting in terms of a matchup. And it's not a total cakewalk, right? It's not like I'm not going to give him fucking Tim Means, Alex Morono. Like, I'm not going to give him one of these cakewalk welterweights. This isn't a super difficult fight, but Chiesa just gets five. Like, granted, he has the best gig in the world because he's a part time analyst, and then he gets to go in the cage, makes $500,000 to go fight the worst guys in the division that are 40 plus years old. So I say Chiesa versus Phil Rose, a good matchup to make. Same card. I say book it whenever the fuck you want to do it. I don't really care, dude. I know Phil Rose usually wanted to turn around fight pretty quick. Maybe Chiesa obliges. We'll see. And lastly, Jose Ochoa, great performance over Cody Durden. Ronaldo Rodriguez on UFC Noche. Makes sense. Two Latin guys, Latino-ish guys, right? Like Mexican in Ronaldo Rodriguez, Peruvian, I believe, in Jose Ochoa. Think it makes sense, dude. Put him on a fight card together. Let's get rid of this Ronaldo Rodriguez guy for good. He's overrated as fuck. He's not that good. Ochoa has great grappling, though, so it kind of plays to the game of Ronaldo Rodriguez, where it's a little bit more of an approachable fight to take for him. So that's what I'm thinking. This is the UFC Fight Night Atlanta matchmaking. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you think of any better matchups, but if you enjoyed them, please like and subscribe.